So you're thinking about buying a Roland TD-07KVX. You've seen the ads, you've watched the demos, and you're probably ready to pull the trigger on what looks like the perfect compact electronic drum kit. But before you spend over $1,000 of your hard-earned cash, you need to watch this. Because today, I'm going to show you the 3 massive pros and 3 shocking cons of this kit that nobody else is talking about. For the best price, click the link in the description. Now, on the surface, the TD-07KVX seems like a dream. It's a Roland, so the brand is legendary. It has mesh heads, a decent module, and it folds up. What's not to love? But here's what surprised me after playing it for a month straight. This kit isn't for everyone. In fact, it might be a massive mistake for you. Therefore, let's dive into the brutal, honest truth, /N//N Act 1, the allure and the immediate letdown. /N//N, let's start with the good, because there is a lot of good. The promise of the TD-07KVX is space-saving, high-quality sound, and Roland delivers on the core promise. The module, the TD-07, is packed with sounds derived from their flagship V-Drums technology. We're talking about hundreds of kits, from pristine studio acoustics to wild electronic pads. The playability is there. The mesh heads on the snare and toms feel great. They're responsive, they have that nice bounce, and they're quiet. The kick tower is solid, and the included VH10 hi-hat, that's a game changer. It's not just a pedal with a trigger. It's a real hi-hat controller that mounts on a stand, giving you genuine open-close control and chick sounds. For a kit in this price bracket, that's almost unheard of. Most competitors give you a fixed rubber hat, so right away you're getting a premium feature. Therefore, you might be thinking, case closed, I'm buying it. But hold on. Let's talk about the first major con, and it hits you the moment you start setting it up. The rack. Oh, the rack. It's the MDS compact rack, and the word compact is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. It feels flimsy. The clamps are basic, the tubing is thin, and when you're hitting those pads with any passion, the whole structure sings along with you. It wobbles. It shakes. It feels like it's apologizing for existing. For a kit at this price, you expect rock-solid stability. You don't get it. You get a rack that whispers, "Please play gently." Joke number 1. Setting up this rack is less like assembling a musical instrument and more like building IKEA furniture while someone slowly removes the screws. You're left wondering if you did it wrong or if it's just like that. /N//N. Now, why does this matter? Because feel is everything. If your kit is moving, you're subconsciously holding back. You're not developing proper technique because you're afraid of toppling the whole thing over like a toddler. It's a psychological barrier you don't need. Therefore, your first upgrade, almost guaranteed, will be a better rack, and that's an extra couple $100 they don't tell you about in the brochure. But let's move from the hardware to the brain. The TD-07 module. It sounds fantastic. The acoustic drum models are shockingly good. The snare has nuance, the toms have depth, and the cymbals have a nice decay. You can plug it into a computer via USB and use it as a MIDI controller for software like Superior Drummer. That's huge. You're essentially getting 2 kits in one. The onboard sounds for quick jams and practice, and a gateway to infinite studio-quality sounds. So the sound engine is a massive pro. However, and this is a big however, the user interface is stuck in 2005. It's a tiny blue LCD screen with buttons. No color display, no touchscreen, no Bluetooth audio for streaming music to play along with. To edit a kit, you're button mashing through menus. Want to change a cymbal's volume relative to the snare? Get ready for a mini adventure in menu diving. It's functional, but it's not fun or intuitive. In an era where even budget electronic kits have smartphone apps and sleek interfaces, the TD-07 feels dated. Therefore, if you're a tech-savvy player who loves to tweak and customize, you will find this frustrating. But if you're a set-it-and-forget-it player, you'll be fine once you memorize the button combos. See the dilemma forming /N//N Act 2, the deep dive where this kit really shines, and where it cracks, /N//N. Let's get into the playing experience. The pads themselves are a mix of brilliant and baffling. The PDX-8 mesh snare pad is excellent. It's a proper 8-inch pad with a great feel and a dual trigger designed for head and rim shots. The 3 PCY5 cymbals, 2 crashes, 1 ride are okay. They're single zone on the bow, but the ride has a bell trigger. They get the job done, but they feel plasticky and lack the chunkiness of higher-end Roland cymbals. They're a reminder that this is an entry-level Roland kit, which is still a mid-tier kit overall. Now for the second major pro, the VH10 hi-hat. I mentioned it, but it deserves its own parade. This is the feature that elevates the TD-07KVX above almost every other kit in its class. The dynamic range, from a tight chick to a sloshy open sound, is incredible. It responds to foot pressure and stick position. It makes practicing hi-hat technique actually meaningful. Therefore, if you're coming from a cheap kit with a static hat, this will blow your mind. It's the soul of the kit. But, and you knew there was a but, here comes con number 2. The tom pads. They are not the same as the snare. They are the budget-friendly, single-trigger PDX-6 pads. They're smaller 6 inches and only trigger on the head, no rim shots. This creates a feel discrepancy. Your snare feels premium and responsive. Your toms feel like practice pads. It's a jarring difference. Your brain expects consistency across the kit, and you don't get it. Joke number 2. Playing the toms after the snare is like driving a Ferrari off the lot and then immediately switching to a go-kart for the rest of the trip. You keep wondering where the rest of the car went. /n/, and this leads us to the third major pro, portability and footprint. If you live in an apartment, a dorm, or just have a small space, this is where the TD-07KVX might be your hero. It folds up into a relatively small, rectangular shape. You can tuck it in a closet. You can move it easily. For the urban drummer, this is a lifesaver. The noise is manageable, especially with mesh heads, and the footprint when set up is minimal. Therefore, for the space-constrained musician, this pro might outweigh all the cons. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of an elephant. Con number 3, the price versus the competition. The TD-07KVX sits in a weird spot. It's more expensive than beginner kits from Alesis or Simmons, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of a Roland TD-17KVX. You're paying for the Roland name and that incredible hi-hat. But are you getting enough kit? Competitors might give you more pads, a bigger snare, or a better module with coaching features for the same money. Therefore, you're not just buying a drum kit, you're making a philosophical choice. Do you want the reliability and resale value of Roland, even if it means some compromises? Or do you want more features for your dollar from a less proven brand? This is the core question. Let me hit you with joke number 3. Choosing between the TD-07KVX and its competitors is like choosing between a reliable, slightly grumpy taxi driver who knows all the shortcuts and a flashy new rideshare car with a complimentary water bottle. But the driver is using GPS for the first time. Both will get you there, but the experience is wildly different. /n/n Act 3. The verdict: who should actually buy this kit? /n/n after weeks of playing, tweaking, and occasionally cursing at the wobbly rack, here's my final resolution. The Roland TD-07KVX is not a perfect kit. It has glaring flaws. The rack is underwhelming. The module interface is archaic. The tom pads feel like an afterthought. But, and this is the biggest but of the video, it might still be the perfect kit for you. Therefore, let's break it down into clear categories. /n/n you should buy the Roland TD-07KVX if /n1 you are a beginner or intermediate player who values space saving above all else. The foldability is a legitimate, life-changing feature for apartment dwellers. /n2 you are obsessed with having a realistic hi-hat experience. The VH10 is so good it makes up for a multitude of sins. /n3 you trust the Roland brand implicitly and plan on keeping this kit for years or upgrading within the Roland ecosystem later. Their build quality, rack aside, and sound engines are top tier. /n4 you primarily need a practice kit for silent rehearsal and plan to use it as a MIDI controller for studio software. The core triggering is excellent. /n you should avoid the Roland TD-07KVX and look at alternatives if /n1 you have a dedicated drum room and space is not an issue. In that case, save a bit more for a TD-07KVX or look at kits with more robust hardware, /N2. You are a heavy hitter. That rack will not survive your wrath. You need something sturdier from day one, /N3. You crave modern features like Bluetooth audio, a touchscreen, or built-in coaching functions. The TD-07 module will feel like a dinosaur to you, /N4. Your budget is absolute, and you need the most pads and features for your money. Other brands will give you more physical drums for less cash, /N. Therefore, the TD-07KVX is a specialist. It's not the do-it-all champion. It's the compact, hi-hat-focused, Roland reliable workhorse for the modern, space-poor drummer. It makes compromises in hardware and interface to deliver on its core promises of great sound and small footprint. Joke number 4. Owning this kit is like dating a brilliant, fascinating person who is also inexplicably afraid of Velcro. You love the core of them, but you have to just accept and work around the one weird, wobbly thing, /N. Final thoughts. If the pros I listed speak to your situation, you will love this kit. You'll overlook the rack. You'll master the menus. You'll cherish that hi-hat. But if even one of the cons is a deal-breaker for you, keep looking. Your perfect kit is out there. I've done the deep dive so you don't have to make a costly mistake. Now, if you've decided the TD-07KVX is for you and you want to get the best possible price without hunting for coupons, I've done that work for you too. For the absolute best price on Amazon right now, click the link in the description below. That link supports this channel at no extra cost to you, and it gets you the kit fast. Thanks for watching, and remember, know what you're buying before you hit that order button.